This was night before approaching and camping in Aldan Ferry port. At this point I'm already 340 kilometers within the infamous Road of Bones. So almost half a globe around, and I'm gonna be on the last stretch of the road or track to Magadan, my final destination before the voyage back home. So we are talking about some 1600 kilometers to Magadan. Is there any alternative to it? Sure there is. It's called Old Summer Road. To give you an idea what Road of Bones was before 2008, take a look at those two photos. Magical, right? I wouldn't dare to go over there. In 2008, road was given federal road status. At that time, they started doing this 542 kilometers bypass marked in orange. 400 kilometers Old Summer Road across Tomtor was completely abandoned. Here it's marked red, meaning no maintenance, all broken and unsafe bridges. Basically a land of bears, and I would say only craziest among craziest would consider going this way, possibly ending like this poor Kawasaki in the river. So my idea was to go with this 354 kilometers first, then go with the 542 kilometers bypass and continue across the old part, across Susuman, some 700 kilometers, which would bring me to Magadan. The thing is that whole this track, 1600 kilometers, has only few cities where you can sleep in a decent, relatively decent places, not be afraid of bears. Hadinga, Ustanera, Susuman, all other places are basically ghost towns or only a fuel stations, and it would be very hard to do or get anything over there. Plan was to cross the river Aldan with a ferry, then get some fuel in Hadinga, then 321 kilometer and I would be in Kolyma, or here marked as Oimikonski district. Then additional 240 kilometers, get some sleep and some fuel in Ustanera. After that some 391 kilometer and I would be in Susuman, again fuel and sleep over there. Then after 108 kilometers I would be in Jagodnoje, and then 364 kilometers to Atka, where again I will be taking last fuel before the final 380 kilometers to Magadan. From Magadan I will be doing some short trips to Niukla, some beaches, to take a view at Pacific Ocean, and that would be it. In the original plan I had to cross the river last night and sleep in Khandiga, a small town across the river, but unfortunately I came too late and had to sleep on this parking plot in between the tracks. I was too tired to care about the bears when I came to this plot last night, which was 2-3 o'clock in the morning, so bears haven't eaten me and I was ready to sail and drive further away. I adore early mornings in such places. Waking up with all of this around you, it's unbelievable. Aldan River is the second largest tributary of Lena River. The river itself is 2,273 kilometers long, and this ferry approximately takes 1 hour and a half to get you from one side to another. Here I'm disembarking the ferry. So from this point onward there won't be any more ferries. Maybe airplane, but you will hear about that further on. As you can see, the weather is perfect, perfect for riding, perfect to enjoy the scenery. One of the reasons is when I was in Dushanbe in Tajikistan, probably I told you that at that time, in that episode, I met some Russian bikers and they told me that the best time to do the Road of Bones is the last week of July. So that 7 days of last week of July are that perfect window to do the Road of Bones, because it's the most driest, there are no rains, there are no floods, so that's the time to go. So I scheduled my attacking, sort of speaking, of Road of Bones at that particular period of time. Wherever I saw the sign showing distance to Magadan, I had to stop, take a few photos. Here at this particular point I was 1,500 kilometers away from it. This is what I was telling you about, this bridge and the bridges like it. So federal government from 2008, they invested a lot of money to make sure that this road is way decent than it was back in the days, because as you could see, trucks moving up and down. This road is one way or another, it's serving people and it's serving goods from the mining spots around, so it should have one way or another way to travel through it in a more decent way. I probably mentioned this before. In the original plan of this voyage, I had to exit the Kazakhstan, enter the Russia, then enter Mongolia, do the Mongolia, and then enter Russia again. But because of the sanctions and visa issues, I had a problem, or I could have a problem, because I was supposed to get additional visa for Russia in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, which could not be done because I would have to do it in my place of origin, and that was too complicated. So I gave up that option and went for plan B, which would be do the Russia first and then possibly on the way back to do Mongolia when coming back home. That's why you can see that I still have 2 additional tires, which would presumably give me additional 10,000 kilometers on the way back, possibly through Mongolia as well. And then I would get in Mongolia the transit visa through Russia, and that would hopefully make a good deal on the way back. Those kind of monuments are still kind of a reminder that, shit can happen. You can see over there the track where the guy lost his life, and unfortunately that's the case. Even with the road being decently upgraded from what it was in 2008, accidents still happen, so you need to be very careful. And especially on those kind of roads which are out in the middle of nowhere, people relaxed, not in the terms that they relaxed with the road, but they relaxed with not gonna be caught by a police or whoever's gonna check them for alcohol. So they tend to drive and drink vodka, and that gets them in, I don't need to mention, in a load of problems. Plus, if you ran into a wrong period of time, bad weather, shit can happen anywhere, not only here. This here is still the first section of 542 kilometers, which goes before the old summer road, and here on the right is the old bridge from the Road of Bones, because even though the first section is, let's say, part of the old track Road of Bones, It was very well reshaped and done in a way that it serves the purpose, so particular parts were abandoned, but the track itself is following more or less the same route up to the point of Old Summer Road and bypass, where it goes way around in comparison to the Old Summer Road. Here you can see the new bridge, and on the left down there there's the old bridge, which was present and used up to 2008. Of course there are such crossings as well, so certain parts are still not fully shaped in a sense that somebody placed a bridge over here as well. Probably the case is because it's a seasonal stream or something, and maybe they are thinking doing it in the future, but so far this crossing is basically a water crossing. Scenery, as you can see, is perfect, so it's a pure joy driving through this area. And this here in the middle of nowhere is Kolyma fuel station. There's a village with the same name, obviously, and population is something 40 something people, so not too many people lives around here one way or another. This fuel station is also known by this fuel station round office, basically down out of a big pipe or something. In any case, whoever was passing Kolyma highway or Road of Bones had to stop here, fill the fuel, and obviously put a sticker on it. The fuel station is on the crossroad. From this point the road goes either left to that new built bypass, or it goes to the right through Old Summer Road, the completely abandoned track. Obviously you will find some people mostly on light bikes which will make their adventure or try to make their adventure through that Old Summer Road, but as the time goes by fewer and fewer people are trying to do that, because really it's impossible to pass through it. There's a big danger of bears, and then almost all the bridges are torn down, so very few people make their adventure there. Obviously I took my voyage through the new build bypass, but as you can see on my screen, completely in red, I had some problems as well. So it's not like this bypass road or Kolyma highway within its new route is completely without any challenges. At first I was not sure what it is, but then I figured out that it must be a flat tire. Probably there was a puncture or something, and I had to stop at the side of the road to fix that. Not sure why I was driving even those few meters ahead, but there you go. Pulled aside and tried to fix the tire. Thankfully it was a small puncture, so I didn't have to remove the tire. It was all done in a few minutes. One way or another, you see this road, although it's a gravel and it's a stable gravel and you can reach a nice kilometers, like here I'm driving 80. Problem within this Arctic regions is that gravel is very sharp because of the ice and warmth, so it's developing in very sharp small objects, so it's relatively easy especially if you increase the speed, it's relatively easy to puncture your tire. Here I had to stop for a few photos. It's really incredible to see this environment, taiga, with this little swampy area and trees. It's kind of spooky and nice in the same time. It's calling you to stop, to take a few photos. You will hear me many times either saying Kolyma Highway or Road of Bones, and both terms are correct. The official name of the road is Kolyma Highway, but most people on the west are calling it Road of Bones because of the labor from Gulag, which lost their lives while building it. Construction started in 1932 and continued up to 1953. Rough calculations are that around 1 million people lost their life building it. This new part was built from 2008 onwards, and it was done in a proper way, obviously, as you can see, the bridges and everything else. As I said, when it was granted the federal road status, then they started building a relatively proper road compared to the one that was there before. And here I'm approaching Ustnera, a small town with population of around 6,500 people. It was founded in 1937. From one side it was used as a mining town, mostly gold, and on the other side it was used as a base for forced labor camps. There are two hostels in the town, and most with the shared rooms, mostly used by the gold mining people. There is not so much tourism happening around here. I managed to find a room only for myself so that I could have a proper rest here. Because there's not too much things that you can do around here. Population of the place is very small, mostly mining industry people, and that's it. The biggest amount of people living here was actually at the end of 80s, something around 12,000 people, but then since that period it simply declined. Similar thing happened in many places when industrial revolution went down. Simply people left, and plus it's not the most comfortable place to live in. It's very challenging. Ustnera has extremely cold subarctic climate, ranging in temperature from almost minus 50 Celsius to plus 18 degrees. In the morning I decided to change old tires for the new ones, the ones that I bought in Krasnoyarsk, to Metzeler Caro 3. So I placed them, filled the fuel, and I was on my way. I was doubting if I'm gonna leave the rear tire with me, although it had more than few punctures, and good thing that I kept it with me. And then there was a problem, because you can't have adventure without a problem. Magical day today. In Ustnera this morning I was taking some time to change both tires, to put the rear one on the rear place, the new one, and on the front place also the new one. And after 70 kilometers, new Caro 3 went bye-bye on a side cat puncture. There was no way, not even with foam, to fix it, and then had to change it, had to put all the Heidenau back, and there you can see it. Two fellows stopped to help me place it, so I'm very helpful to that. And I mean, what would life be without a puncture, without flattened tires? It wouldn't be interesting. I would reach the place, Susuman, on a proper time, not in 2 o'clock in the night, like this will be the case. Worth of mentioning here is, as I said, when I stopped to fix the tire and when I figured out that I will have to remove everything, tire, wheel, all, two guys stopped, they were passing through with the car and they offered their help, and obviously I accepted. And when we were done, then I said thanks, can you take the old tires? They were happy that I'm kind of taking care of nature. But they haven't left. I thought that they left. They haven't left. They were aside. My problem is that I never saw a bear in my life except in a zoo, and obviously they were more up to date with the bears and everything else that is happening. So they were waiting until I put all my stuff back on the motorcycle, because they had a rifle and they were waiting just in case bear would show up. And when I packed and started moving, then I saw them and understood what's happening, thanked them one more time and said farewell. Because the only thing that I had to defend myself from the, possible threat of a bear was tear gas, and not even the proper one. I had the small one, which is against wolves and so on. Because the proper one that the lady at the fuel gas station was offering was like a fucking fire extinguisher, and I was not able to take it with me. It was too big, and I decided to take a small one, and then if the bear would come, I would, I don't know, buy him a beer or something.
Хорватия. Да. Magadan. Домой. Москва, домой.
This is one of the privileges when riding alone. Nobody is afraid of stopping and talking with you, so I had many situations like this, talking with full strangers, explaining them where I'm from, where I'm going. It's a nice catch to meet some people and talk with them while taking nice photos. And those places in the wilderness, they are simply too good to be true, so you need to stop. I mean, if I would stop for every photo that I would like to take, I would not be moving at all. But from time to time you need to stop one way or another and then take few photos. The other problem with stopping here in these subarctic climate places is that you can simply do the countdown, but not from 10 to 0, maybe from, I don't know, 20 or 30 to 0, and there will be a bunch of mosquitoes around you. So that's how good they are. And those ones living in Siberia in this period of the year, they're working 24/7. It's like, a small short window of time when they are alive, because otherwise the temperatures are below 0 and obviously they're hibernating. Here, same thing as before, in some cases the remaining of old bridge on the old road, now obviously obsolete, and now we have a privilege of driving through this concrete bridge and chasing our kilometers to Magadan. There's never enough places where you can put your sticker. Yep, roughly 1000 kilometers more and I'm gonna be in Magadan. As I said, when I had that flat tire, that will slow me drastically and I will reach Susuman late at night, and that's basically what happened at the end. I was really late, but there was no other choice because there's simply no other secure place where you can sleep and spend the night. You might be able to pull yourself together, tent and then campfire or something, but this was the idea, to reach this hotel. Hotel name was Susuman Zoloto, but unfortunately it was fully booked, and I even asked if I can sleep at the reception. Girl said no. She said that there might be another place to go. I tried, couldn't find a thing, and eventually I came back, asked the reception girl if I can put a tent in front of the hotel. She didn't mind, and there you have it. Had a wonderful time in a tent, slept warm and cozy because I haven't put any of my clothes off. I slept with everything on. There was one other family with the car. They tried to sleep in the car, but they were freezing up. At the end, I think they left around 4 o'clock in the morning, because even though it was end of July, temperature during the night was around 0 degrees. And what a better way to start the morning but with a puncture. I'm not sure if it was a new one or the old one getting stubborn. In any case, I had to lose a little bit of time to fix it again. Few words about Susuman. Town is administrative center of Susuman district. It was founded in 1938. Same as Usnera, mostly related to gold mining, as well as center for corrective labor camp. So if you would come here during the Soviet Union, maybe you would still have a chance to get your freedom. If nothing else, then at the beginning of 90s, when the number of people living here dropped from 18,000 to 4,500 inhabitants. There's a lot of machinery and trucks around, repairing roads constantly, and by the way, maybe like 2-3 days before I passed through Susuman, there was a major flood happening here. But I was assured that by the time that I will get there, that probably the guys that are taking care about the road will fix the road and I won't have any issues passing through Susuman whatsoever. Here again, problem with the tire. So from the point when I put those hidden out tires back, there was not like 30 kilometers or something that I didn't have a problem and that I didn't have to stop and fix. So this is the only thing. You can pray to God that this time it will last a little bit longer and then hit the road. And here we go again. Again stopping, again fixing, again putting the pressure back on. What to do? I mean, if this is the way, this is the way. It's good to rest a little bit, take a few photos as well, and then obviously you can continue until the next pressure drop. There are a few good things that you can see on this road of bones. Although they are not on the road, you need to get a little bit off the road and then maybe to drive some 15 minutes or so. One is Kolyma, ghost town, basically abandoned city, and another one is Talia, ex-Gulag, which you can see Both are dangerous in the sense that you might again see bears over there if you go alone. Why I was not going there at the end is because I figured out with the tires that are completely screwed up, going off the off-road would, I would have even less chances of getting to Magadan. And here I am, I reached it finally. So that was calling obviously for a special setup of me taking a good photo of myself with the table written Magadan on it. And here I met some fellow bikers.
A vi otkud? A, mjesne. U Ustanera zdela nove pokriške. 70 km.
And here I'm talking on my broken Russian. Few things from this adventure. What happened? Issues with the tires. Saying bye-bye and on my way to the center. At the end, from all my plans about reaching and going from Magadan, at the end I ended up with plan C. And plan C was, I contacted the guys before, even if the options A and B would be actual, that I would be coming back through Mongolia. But at the end I decided to go with option C because I was out of tires, and option C was to take a company named Avia Partner and to fly my bike from there back to Moscow, and then from Moscow to drive back to Croatia. Here, this monument is monument of Gulag. Here I met some guys from Magadan, so I'm making some new friends. They invited me for a dinner in a day or two, so I accepted. I came back in the morning to see this monument, Mask of Sorrow, one more time, and to see the city, because this place is also kind of a viewpoint from which you can check the city. Magadan was founded in 1929. It was a major transit center for political prisoners in Stalin era and center of Dalstroy forced labor gold mining. Harbor is a major gold exporting hub. In the early 90s, the town had around 150,000 people, but with the time that number declined, and nowadays it's more like 90,000. Some half an hour driving from Magadan in the northeast direction, there's New Klaya beach, and that's basically the most northeast that you could go. There's a neighboring village named Ola, and that's it. There's no more alternative or way to go northern east than that. So this was a good occasion for me to check how Russian part of Pacific Ocean looks like, if you want to say Russian Federation Riviera, Pacific Ocean Riviera. And I had fun. It was a weekend. Plenty of people from Magadan region are coming here to have a picnic, to have, some grill, some fishing, to have a good time. So I did as well. Took some photos over there, and here two ladies asked me if they could have a photo with me. How could I tell no? You simply can't refuse ladies, so took photos. Here as well, ran into one couple who also was wondering where I'm coming from, which kind of voyage I did I had any problems. Oh yeah, why not? I'm always happy to share information about my voyage, and people are eager to know, because it's a long voyage, and it's not very often that you can meet somebody that is doing that kind of a trip. Here I'm back in the city center. As you can see, it's a lovely place, lovely city, nice cathedral. One of the ladies that I met before on the beach was kind enough to show me around in the afternoon, to drive me some places around the city itself. So I could say that within 3 days I managed to see a lot of Magadan, and in those 3 days guys from Avia Partner managed to resolve all the paperwork. So here you can see them placing my lovely bike Brunhilde into the box and getting ready for flying from Magadan to Moscow, some 8 hours flight. The idea was that I would leave first, and then in a day or two my motorcycle would follow.
Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it.